in the United States particularly, we are hyper-focused on, and not to say we shouldn't be, on achievement testing in English. In many cases, teachers will share that it's this over-obsession with how are students doing, right, in English. What gets overlooked, however, is monitoring progress in the partner language. And it's a huge equity issue more than anything. I mean, it sends the message, if we are not progress monitoring in the partner language, we are sending the message that it's not valuable enough to assess, for one thing. And we oftentimes get in trouble by, I'll often say, well, what are we trying to assess here? And we kind of go through an assessment inventory. Are we assessing a math skill, or are we assessing math vocabulary? Because sometimes a student who has learned something in Spanish, for example, may have aced all their end of unit tests, right, in Spanish, but then they go to an English proficiency exam and they may not have the vocabulary yet in a story problem, for example, but if it had been in Spanish, they would have been able to solve it. And so sometimes the testing issue is really tricky, and it can provide data that is not really reliable, depending on what language students acquired a concept in. So progress monitoring in the partner language is key. And we have a whole progress monitoring schedule that we developed. And it does include monitoring in English as well. But, back when Lila and I first started, there weren't a lot of academic tests available in Spanish, or Chinese for that matter, later when we were working on Chinese. And so we really relied a lot on reading levels, making sure that we were benchmarking and assessing students, because we conjectured if students were able to read at grade level, right? And that's a whole nother story, finding the resource that actually helps you do that. But we really relied a lot on grade level reading benchmarks to make sure that our students were linguistically capable of navigating all of the academic content in that particular grade level. So yeah, it's really about making sure that there are multiple points of assessment in the partner language, be that reading benchmarks, and then perhaps some proficiency testing, which, not anything is perfect, but we always had a proficiency test recommended, such as the APPLE, because it aligns to the ACTFL proficiency levels, and then end of unit tests. And then eventually MAP came out. NWEA came out with standardized testing in Spanish. So that was thrilling, because we could test using MAP, still relying on the reading, still relying on proficiency tests together. And we wanted to send the message to students that academic learning in the partner language is just as important. And so that is a powerful message for students to hear. They know what language we care more about based on how much testing they receive. It's unfortunate sometimes, but it's true. Like, whether we mean to send that message or not, it's the truth.